My, what a dreary day it is. The grey skies, the rain that's certain to come, the exhaustion. Oh yes, and not to mention the completely deserted town square. Honestly, where's the passion? Where's the life that once bloomed from every corner of every street? It's as if the life force is slowly being drained from this earth, and this city was the place to begin. Oh, how utterly terrible. Oh? Now what is that sound? I don't believe I've heard a sound quite like that in a while. It sounds almost like someone is singing. But, of course, such a feat is impossible. Not because humans are incapable, but rather because the dreariness of the day, the guarantee of dreadful weather. Why on earth would anyone be out in such a mess? Oh? And who might you be, my dear? Oh, really? I don't believe I've heard such a name before. Tell me, are you perhaps new in town? I don't believe I've seen you around. Your name and your face, they are completely unfamiliar, and I must say, your voice has me falling under some kind of spell. Do tell me, dear, did you just blow in from another city over? Oh, really? You're from somewhere far away? Well then, do tell, darling, what brings you here, to this place, especially on such a dull, dull day? Oh? Is that so? You've come to stir up a little life? You've come to make things a bit more entertaining? Please do elaborate, darling. It's your duty. And what do you mean by that, my darling? Well, of course, you're simply rephrasing what you stated earlier. It is your job to bring joy and life wherever you go, but that doesn't explain why. Your reasons for doing so must remain confidential? Oh, how delightful. Nothing is more alluring than mystery, and I must say, my darling, you are quite the enigma. Oh, indeed. You see, most people are locked in their houses enjoying other activities. As you can see from the look of the sky, rain is approaching, most likely another thunderstorm since we've had so many so recently. And yet here you are, standing in the middle of town square, belting out note after note of joyous tunes. But why? What purpose does it serve? Oh, yes, yes, you keep repeating yourself, darling. It's to bring joy and life to this place. But why is the question? Why is this your job? And why are you doing such a terrible job at hiding what you are? Oh, please, darling, do you take me for a complete fool? Or perhaps are your senses so dulled by your own singing that you take me for a human? Oh, it means precisely what I said, my darling. I am not entirely human, just as you are. Oh, please. Any creature who isn't a human knows precisely what to look for. For instance, singing usually implies a banshee or a siren, or, in some rare cases, an angel attempting to preach the word of their so-called God. But you are rather mysterious in some way that I've yet to identify, and that is the reasoning behind your so-called job. You're a siren, are you not? That's why there are scales on your neck. yes, darling. I'm afraid your pathetic attempt to cover it up with the collar of your garment has been unsuccessful. Have you never heard of makeup? Oh, of course. Makeup wouldn't work very well underwater. No wonder you've never heard of it. Well, I could always teach you how to apply it. Or perhaps I could tell you what I am, and you and I could form a sort of symbiotic relationship. Oh, certainly, darling. I was going to tell you what I was first. I happen to be a sort of demon, though not the one most people tend to think of right away. I don't feed off of souls, you see. I feed off of passion and romance. It is rather easy compared to gaining souls, but then you have to lure in people who would be interested in you, and you have to drain them slowly of all of their romantic interest until, well, there's nothing left for them to feel. Oh, yes, it is rather easy at first, especially for an elegant, charming woman such as myself, but once you start draining them of all of their love, all of their passion, they begin to fall out of love with you, and before you can drain them completely, they're leaving you, and they remember your face so you can't try again when their energy has been replenished. Rather irritating if you ask me. However, now that you've strolled into town, I believe I may have found a solution. Oh, yes, darling. I have a certain way with people. If I walk into a room, they all turn their heads, and if I begin partaking in an activity, they all begin to partake as well. It's part of my natural charm, you see. I need it for luring in my victims. But the thing is, I haven't had a chance to do something like that. Oh, this town has been so dreary for such a long time. It feels as though it's been weeks since the last time I was able to meet someone. And of course, that means that my energy is running rather low. It makes it difficult to lure people completely. That's where you come in. You have such a lovely voice, darling, and for whatever reason, you aren't using it to lure people to their deaths. Instead, you're using it to spread happiness and cheer wherever you go, bringing life back into towns like this one that have lost their luster. Now, what I'm proposing for this symbiotic relationship of sorts is that you provide the music, and I'll spark up some entertainment. If you can sing, darling, I can dance, and sooner or later, people will join in. You'll be able to see their faces break into joy, break with smiles of utter excitement, and then, with all of the people around, all of them dancing so happily, so utterly helplessly, I'll be able to lure them in and use their energy. What do you say, my darling? How does that deal sound, Oh? It sounds a little suspicious. Now, why on earth would you say something like that? I'm not asking anything of you, just that you continue doing what you were doing before. Nothing more, nothing less. You were going to continue whether I said something or not, so really, what are you losing? It has to be kept a secret? Oh, darling, I've kept a rather large secret from others for quite a long time. Centuries, in fact. I think whatever you have to tell me can be kept between my lips. Oh. Oh, I see. You aren't meant to be here? Well, that was obvious, darling. After all, you're a regular old fish out of water. Pun intended, of course. Tell me something that I don't know, darling, and don't disguise it as a secret. Oh, you're looking for other sirens in the area. Sirens who have lost their way? And how, pray tell, do you intend to do that by making people happy? Oh, I see. Sirens can falsify their emotions, though only to a certain degree. That makes sense, of course. They often pretend to be in love with sailors before drowning them. Oh, how utterly sadistic and twisted, darling. Now, why exactly do you think that singing will lure them out here, though? Wouldn't they be better off hiding in their houses? Oh, many of them live on the streets, and if they didn't join in, they would seem suspicious. Oh, I see. How very enlightening, my darling. So you're afraid that I'll attempt to, what? Hurt them? Seduce them? I promise it's not as easy as it looks. After all, I'm attempting to charm you as we speak, yet you remain unfazed. Oh? It was beginning to work? Oh, then perhaps I should continue while you continue singing. No? That would distract you? Am I that entertaining, darling? Am I that captivating? Oh, please don't hold back from the compliments. I rather enjoy them. Oh my! Did the siren just stutter? I can't believe what I'm hearing. A siren, who's supposed to be stoic and unfeeling toward all creatures other than humans, just stuttered in the presence of a demon such as myself. Oh, how amusing. Perhaps I ought to refrain from helping you then, darling. Why do you think? The longer it takes you to find those missing sirens, the longer you stay here, and the longer I get to amuse myself by making you embarrassed and flustered. Wouldn't want that now, darling. Oh, please. You think that I'm being a little mean? Tell me something I don't know, darling. Oh! You think that I'm being wicked? Darling, this isn't even the worst I could be doing. I'm only half-heartedly attempting to charm you. Believe me, if I were using my full power, you would be on your knees begging me to kiss you right here and now. Oh? You think that you can withstand the charms of a demon? Very well then, Siren. How about you and I make a friendly little wager? I'll bet that if I can make you embarrassed, if I can successfully seduce you, you will remain here after you've found those missing sirens, and you will be my partner for the rest of our lives. How does that sound, darling? If you win, well, why bother considering impossible possibilities, darling? Oh, all right, I'll humor you. If by some unholy miracle you happen to win and not get flustered, not succumb to my attempts at seduction, I'll assist you in finding those sirens, and I will refrain from attempting to seduce members of the crowd we draw. How's that sound, darling? Does that seem fair? All right, then. But don't expect me to hold back now.